And away we go. Welcome into the Rant, everybody. I'm Pugs Moran. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, live from the beautiful Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the E Gallery in Dallas's fantastic design district. You can find us at radiomisfits.com or just, no, that's it for now. Just radiomisfits.com. We are Radio Misfits Dallas, but radiomisfits.com is where you go for all your podcast needs. They've got great shows. They got shows for just about every taste. Whatever it is that you're into, just go browse around. Check it out. I'm telling you. And don't fuck around with people without talent. That's all I'm saying. They're all good. They're all professional broadcasters. They're all people who are the Radio Misfits. They're all, anyway. I don't need to explain it to you. It's a wonderful thing. RadioMisfits.com. Hi, Taronda. Taronda first in the chat room today. As is often the case with Taronda, I'm gonna hammer that applause button just because it's like just something I need to do. I know it's like he does it so much, but I do. It's like a transitional device in my head. Like I play it like an instrument. Not for you, for me. It makes sense to me. Hi, Frankie. Frankie's here. We got Al here. Come on, everybody. Move into the chat room now. We've got room. I know it's a little bit earlier than usual. Usually I'm late. Today, not so late. I'm trying to see if the button gets stuck again. Remember, it got stuck yesterday. Ugh. And I got to do all kinds of stuff. All right. It is a big day around these parts. It's a big day because, first I'll tell you what the show is. The show is a rundown of all your current events, hot topics, and headlines performed in a stream of consciousness by yours truly. What is that? Well, I start talking about the world and the headlines and the news events and the trends and the hot topics and all that stuff. And I don't stop until I feel like I have said everything there is to say about this day. How does this stream of consciousness rant unfold? Well, 4 quarters. It's how I compartmentalize it in my head. 4 quarters. The first quarter that we get into, we call that antecedently on this day. What is that? That's this day in history. That's all it is. We go through a couple of events that have occurred on this day in history, and we're like, hey, this happened on this day. And I don't know what we take from it, but I enjoy it. Quarter 2 is birthdays, people who were born on this day, famous people, celebs. We decide, are they cool or not? That's quarter. Was that quarter 2? That's quarter 2. Quarter 2 is birthdays. Quarter 3 is, of course, the deads. This is where we look at people who died on this day. Again, celebrities, notable quotables, whatever. We look at them. We overturn a few stones from their past, and we try to determine upon their death, where did they go? Did they ascend to heaven? Or did they go to hell? Those are the first 3 quarters of this show, the prerequisites, if you will. Quarter 4, that was a burp. Did you hear that? That was a burp. That was gas. Haven't had hiccups in a while. That's good. Look at me tempting fate. Hiccups are coming. You know hiccups are coming now because I just said that. Quarter 4 is all the hot topics, current events, headlines, whatever it is people are buzzing about today. That's where we get into that. And at the end of the 4 quarters, it is my hope that I will be exhausted both emotionally and physically from performing this rant for you, but also that you'll have a pretty good working knowledge of everything that's happening today. That's how we do it. We do it every day. Every day since 1948. No, every day for 3 years. It's been about 3 years now. Haven't really looked to see what the actual date of the first show that was posted. It's around this time. So happy anniversary to us. Happy anniversary to you, my people in the chat room. You guys have been here. Some of you have been here the entire time. Some of you, we've lost some. Pouring a little out. I don't want to pour any out because this is really good. We lost some people along the way. Some people maybe didn't cotton to what we were doing here and attempt to do talk radio in a way that it isn't done on terrestrial radio. I don't do politics. I don't just only do sports. I will do sports. I love sports. I hate the political stuff. I hate it. I hate only talking about sports. So we do this and we call it the Rant. So welcome one, welcome all. Hi, Cam. Cam's here. Jeff's here. Barney's here. Everybody filling in. Leslie's here. Happy anniversary to you, Leslie. All right, big day today, Thursday. It's kids' weekend. Getting the kid earlier now because, the football thing. He's got games on Thursday night. So road game, first road game of the season. We opened up the season last week with a decisive 21-0 victory. Still, did we shut them out? I think we did. I don't know. I'll have to ask Coach before the game today. decisive over Royce City. Don't know where Royce City is, but they came into my kids' stadium and got their ass whipped. So that's good. So we're taking it on the road. It's the first road game. I believe this is, we're playing at, is this Hebron? I guess this would be Hebron High School they're playing. A bunch of rich West Plano rich kids. That's what I think this is. Playing at a place called Creekview tonight. Now, I talk a lot about my 15-year-old kid. His team was really good last year. We're hoping they're really good again this year. Off to a good start, 1-0. But here we go. Big test against a bunch of rich white kids. Right? Isn't that what Hebron is? I always think of like just a bunch of rich white kids. I don't know. I knew people who lived in that area. It was very wealthy. It was very Caucasian, I remember thinking. Anyway, point is this. Creekview. We're gonna play that game tonight. Now, here's the big news. And I don't know if I gave this to you because it hadn't been officially confirmed until last night. As many of you know, my son is as a center. He is a center for his team. He is very good, if I do say so myself. He is also the long snapper for this team. However, in the first game of the season, they weren't using him as a long snapper. And now here's why it's so important to me that he be recognized as not only a center and, a person who can play guard and center. He plays both. But not only as your every down center, but also as your long snapper. And it's, simply for this reason. Do you know how freaking awful it is watching your kid play offensive center in a game? I mean, I have made it fun, but, I'd be lying if I told you. I'll give you an example. Last year, I became friends with the dad of the quarterback, right? So I'm watching the game with the dad of the quarterback. My kid's the center. It's like, what am I looking for? Like, my kid he's a brute. And look, I get off on that. I get off on the fact that he does seem to manhandle everybody. I mean, he's a finisher. He likes to drive people into the ground, and that's kind of cool. But man, oh man. So that's why I wanted to be a long snapper, because now there's something added. Now there's like just another thing that dad can watch. Oh yeah. And also it's a good thing for him to have. It's a good skill for him to have. So the first game of the year, even though my kid is a really good long snapper, like coaching and stuff like that, spirals on the money every time, even though first game of the year, he wasn't the long snapper. They had some other kid in there. Now the game was so decisive and one-sided that that kid doing the long snaps was only in there for 2 times. He only punted twice. And both were not good. Both were, one, the punt got blocked because the punter had to jump over his head and chase it around. And then the first one was over his head and for a loss of 15, turnover on downs at midfield. So it's terrible. So I said to my kid, without trying to be that dad, I don't want to be that dad. I will never question the coach or anything like that. I will never make a suggestion to the coach. Okay. I'm not that dad. I said to my kid, I go, what's going on with the long snap? And he goes, how about it? I go, no, that's not the attitude you need to have. You need to be like, why am I not the long snapper? He's like, I'll be long snapper next week. And I go, okay, whatever. So anyway, he's long snapper. He's long snapping this game now. Game 2, should there come a situation where they need a long snapper, they're going back to Mason. And I said, well, why weren't you the long snapper? And he goes, I don't know, just giving me a break. Just, they thought and made all these excuses, whatever. Here's what I think it was. I think there was a kid who didn't quite make the first string of the offensive line, and I think he kind of might have been able to long snap, so they tried him. And it didn't work. And meanwhile, my kid spent the entire offseason perfecting his long snap, and they're not going to let him do it because he's their every down center. And I don't know, whatever. These are the things. So here's the truth of it. Okay, so tonight he's going to long snap in a game. Maybe he won't. Fingers crossed. They might not have to punt. Who knows? I mean, could I be that brash and that arrogant about my kid's team? But if they do need to punt, my kid's going to long snap. And now it's, oh man, now I go full dad, right? And I talked to him about this last night. I go, okay, you ready? Okay. I mean, I'm saying all this coach bullshit to him, right? Because this is not me. I'm an anxious wreck. I'm like, it's just muscle memory. It's just muscle memory. I mean, the only problems occur when you think about it. So don't think about it. Here's what you need to do. You need to come up with your rhythm and your pattern. And when it's 4th down, you just need to not think about anything except let's go. Here we go. Boom, snap. He's like, I know, Dad. I got it. And I'm like, do you? Because, you're half me. You are half me. And I don't know that if I were in your position at 15 years old, but then again, that's when I start thinking, well, he's half someone else too. And his mother is like a dialed in, super competitive, like really accomplished athlete. So there we go. So we're hoping, but I'm going to be watching like me with all of my genes and my insecurities, and I'm going to be a wreck. And he's probably just going to nail it every time. He's probably just going to be fine. So we got that going on tonight. All right, enough about me, right? Thank you. You indulged me there to a little fatherly sort of pathos that I'm going through at the moment. I appreciate it. Chuckles is here. Hi, Chuckles. April is here. My girl April's here. Is anybody else I didn't say hi to yet? I don't know. Here's somebody we need to say hi to. We do have an executive producer on this here show. That's right. We have an exec producer every day. The person who tips the most, because this show stays on the air because of your gratuities. If you like what you hear, if you enjoy this whole culture we're trying to build, drop a little something. You can do the Venmo or the Cash App. I'll tell you how to do that in a moment. But every day, the person who tips the best, and we don't have tippers every day, but it is pledge week, so I do appreciate the tippers that come in today. Today's executive producer is Tiffany L. Tiffany L. wrote me the sweetest note, and I just want her to know that was really, I received that. I think I received it in the way you intended it. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much, today's executive producer, Tiffany L. So keep a good thought for her. She's not a chat room girl. She doesn't hang out in the chat room. Not everybody hangs out in the chat room. That's why I love to hear from you people. The ones who don't. The ones I know all these. I know these. Byron. I'm dealing with Byron right now. By the way, Byron, I might be terrible at this, and I do apologize. Is there a chance that you recently suffered a loss? And I am so sorry, dude. I want to say I saw that on Facebook, but it might have been high, but my God, I hope if it's I hope it's not true, but if it is true, I hope you're doing okay, man. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, enough about us, right? Also, do we have a birthday here? We might have a birthday in the chat room. Is it Mikey D's birthday? Here's the problem. Mikey D is Mike Davis. And that's not a real unique name. I don't know. Do I have a couple of Mikey D friends on Facebook? But it is a Mike Davis's birthday on Facebook. So let's send some good thoughts to, Mike Davis anyway. Mikey D in the chat room. Let's send good thoughts to him anyway every day, as we should for all one another. Byron says, yeah, my mom passed last Tuesday. Dude, I'm so sorry. So late to the party. That sucks. That sucks. See, that's why I don't like Facebook, because it reminds me of all the things that I dislike about my friends. There's just a constant reminder on Facebook that I love this person, but I hate this about them. But the downside of that, the downside of me resisting hanging out on Facebook because of that, is that I also miss some of these kinds of things, these connective things, these things that are above and beyond all the bullshit of life. So, Byron, I'm sorry for that, man. I do. All right, so thank you to Tiffany L. Also, we are in Pledge Week. We did well yesterday, man. You guys fucking crushed it for me. Thank you so much. Look at me. I'm like tearing up here. We're at 85. That's like the lowest. We got 2 shows. That's pretty good, man. You guys are fucking great. Thank you. All right. A lot to get into today. There's a lot happening. Let me pull up today's rundown so I can just see exactly where we are. Ugh, that one's a big one. Yeah, Ugh. Here's a pour one out for Byron's old lady. Oh, no, is that? Hey, I started watching Sons of Anarchy again. You guys are going to notice this, okay? So after the big weekend of the whole Hell's Angel thing, I'm like, you know what? I want to watch Sons of Anarchy again. So I started from season 1, episode 1, and I began watching. And so just throughout the course of the next few, shows or whatever, you may notice that I'm, dropping in some biker lingo. And I'll probably use them incorrectly because I'm not a biker. I cosplay a Sons of Anarchy fan. By the way, I just a couple of observations while we're here. This is a stream of consciousness. So one of the things that I just love about the Sons of Anarchy is that they are a full. I mean, if just think about if that was really the way a motorcycle gang behaved. I mean, they murdered hundreds of people. They just every episode they murder people, or they. I mean, and they get away with it, and they seem to just operate in this town. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what I have? You know what Sons of Anarchy for me is? Sons of Anarchy goes into a category with Entourage, a show that when it was airing in real time, I truly appreciated it for everything that it was, for all of the good, right? But then both Entourage and Sons of Anarchy took on a sort of civilian branding that was maybe away from what I was taking from it, meaning the fans of the show are what made it sort of a deuce-baggy show, right? Like Entourage is an incredibly well-written show. The dialogue and the back and forth, and if you're interested in the entertainment business, it's really well done and well acted, okay? But there is a lot of accoutrements that come with viewing Entourage where you go, oh, these guys are just a bunch of D-bags, right? Okay. So maybe that permeates all the other things that make it worthy. And that's kind of what Entourage is. It's the same thing with Sons of Anarchy. Like, I only saw Sons of Anarchy once all the way through, and I loved it. I thought that was a great show. But then over the years, it has kind of gotten sort of like, oh, yeah, that's one of those dumb people shows. But it's not. It's not one of those dumb people shows. It's actually a brilliant show. The stories, they're unbelievable. You have to suspend reality. I mean, like, this is essentially a biker gang filled with serial killers. I mean, they've all killed people. They have massive daylight shootouts with police and ATF where like a whole bunch of cops are killed and everything. And then they just go back to the clubhouse. What? There'd be helicopters everywhere. What the fuck? Just back to the clubhouse with Tig and Chibs. It's a good show, though. The writing of it is a terrific show. The stories are fascinating. It's not, it's not as, I don't know. I was going to say it's not in the league. I'm not going to put it in the league with like Breaking Bad, The Wire, and The Sopranos, but it's just below that, or even The Shield for that matter. I think is a little above it. But anyway, there you go. Pour one out for Byron's old lady mom. Barney Stiles says, it seems a bit far-fetched that a drawn-out gun battle could occur in California involving RPGs without scrutiny. It sure does. And that happens in every episode. Every episode of the Sons of Anarchy is something that would have CNN covering it live. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, they'd all be covering every episode of Sons of Anarchy if it happened in real life. It would be an active shooter situation in the streets of Central California as a biker. Come on. But it is fun. Jax is a bit of a D-bag. I've always thought Jax was a bit of a D-bag. Kurt Cobain on a motorcycle. Clay is evil. I know the story now, but even watching it in the early episodes where Clay is just kind of this man's man, Clay is motherfucking evil. And so is Gemma. And Tig is a child sex abuser. And they joke about it for the first 5 seasons. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's still a good show. So I'll be working my way through Sons of Anarchy for the next few months, probably dropping in biker lingo. Like patch over. I watched an episode about a patch over. And by the way, the episode that I watched last night was very interesting as it directly involved the situation with the Hells Angels coming from Northern California into Colorado, which is Colorado Hells Angels territory, which is not something that's allowed. They dealt with that very issue. In the Sons of Anarchy episode I watched last night. It was where the Sons of Anarchy of Redwood, California, they were deciding that they were going to patch over the Indian Hills, Ghost Tribe or whatever the name of the biker gang there. And that's in Nevada. So when they crossed over, they had to let everybody know they come in peace and all this kind of stuff. And there was sit downs and all that stuff. Can't just go into somebody else's territory and take care of business. That business may be occurring at the knowledge or behest of said biker group in that territory. You can't just... Anyway. It's interesting. Look at that. The dumbest news story so far of the summer. The bikers coming from Northern California to save a Venezuelan gang's rule over an apartment complex. That biggest story has gotten me now watching Sons of Anarchy and utilizing all kinds of biker lingo. Or is it MC lingo? It's MC lingo. Yeah, we're going to be honest. We in the know, we call it an MC. All right, let's get started. Today's rant is the fifth day of September, year of our Lord, 2024. It is the 249th day of the year. There's 117 more of these remaining until the end of the year, so get those New Year's Eve plans started. All right, quarter one. I told you about quarter one. Thank you so much to Tiffany L. Quarter one is called Antecedently on This Day. Antecedently on This Day is where we look through a number of events that have helped shape our understanding of this day throughout history. Antecedently on this day, I love this. This is great. You know, I'm a big fan of Russian history. I love the Tsarist era of Russia, and I particularly love a crazy little nutball by the name of Peter the Great. Peter the Great was awesome. Oh my God, First of all, Peter the Great was really big. For the time, he was like 6'6", but for the time, that was considered like 7'8", today. So Peter the Great, he would surround himself with midgets. He had his people go out and scour this countryside. And when a midget baby was born, he had that midget baby brought to him. Or when they found a midget somewhere, I don't know how prevalent being a midget was. And I'm using this term because that's the term that he used. History. Actually, that's not true. I'm just using midget because that's the one that's, I don't think Peter the Great called them midgets. He probably called them wee folk or something. Anyway, he brought them all to the Kremlin, which may or may not have been where he was living. He brought them all to the Kremlin and he just surrounded him and he made them all his butlers and his wait staff and all that shit because he was already super tall, but he wanted to be super, super tall. So his whole life was just, he dealt with nothing but midgets. I'm 20 feet tall. That was his thing. Peter the Great was great. He also one day on a whim decided that he wanted to be a dentist because he had a toothache and the dentist fixed his tooth. And he was like, that's crazy. I can do that because I'm Peter the Great. So he just went around and started pulling people's teeth. In one instance, he was traveling Europe and he was meeting in England. This is another keel hauling incident. I won't get into that, but he was in England and one of like the top dudes in England heard that he was a dentist. And Peter said, yeah, look, I'll show you. Do your teeth hurt? And the dude's like, no, they don't hurt. And he's like, hold them down. And Peter the Great, literally on like a diplomatic tour of England, ripped the teeth from the mouth of the British ambassador. That was Peter the Great. He was also being shown the British Navy's method of keel hauling, which was where you would stand somebody on the bow of a boat, and then there would be one rope tied to one leg, which would go around one side of the boat, and another rope tied to the other leg. So here's the boat, and you're sort of straddling the boat. And then what happens is they pull you on the ropes, and you get dragged underneath the boat, right? That's called keel hauling. That's how they used to discipline you. It didn't always kill you. Some people survived, but almost everybody died. Peter the Great was having this explained to him by the British admiral, and Peter the Great went, that sounds fun. Let me try it. And they were like, no, you can't try it. He said, come on, keel haul me, you pussies. And they're like, sir, you're the emperor of Russia. If we did this to you and you died, it would start a war. And that's, okay. And so Peter the Great understood that. So Peter the Great grabbed his best friend and said, do it to him. And he died. That was Peter the Great. He was awesome. It was on this day in 1698, Peter the Great, in an effort to westernize his nobility, Peter the Great imposed a tax on beards for all men except clergy. Peter the Great wanted everybody with a beard to be taxed. He claimed he was trying to. Now, that is something that is true about Peter the Great. I told you about these tours of England and Europe and all that stuff. Peter the Great very much wanted to westernize, and he did to a great extent, westernize the Russian people. So he was good. He did some things, but he was also hysterical. Peter the Great, on this day in 1698, issued the Russian beard tax. On this day, antecedently in 1945, during the Cold War, another Russian, this one a Soviet, Igor Guzenko, who was an embassy clerk. He defected to Canada. And upon defecting to Canada, he brought all of these documents that showed how deeply, 1945, folks, how deeply the Russians had sort of infiltrated American society. The Russians were discovered as spying on us in 1945. This moment is considered the beginning of the Cold War. Igor Guzhenko defects to Canada, exposing Soviet espionage deep into North America, signaling the beginning of the Cold War. On this day in 1945. Antecedently on this day in 1960, Muhammad Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, wins the gold medal in the light heavyweight boxing competition at the Rome Olympics. 1960, the Rome Olympics. Did they do it in the Coliseum? Maybe. Probably not. On this day, antecedently, in 1972, the Munich Massacre. More Olympic big news. Remember this? Oh, God, this was before YouTube and before video cameras being everywhere. This was some of the most chilling footage of my childhood. If you remember this, the Palestinians took the Israeli National Olympic team hostage. And they took over the, whatever it was, a dormitory, and there was this footage, ABC News footage, grainy, and it had terrorists walking on the roof. I was just in my memory forever. I'll just never forget seeing that as a little kid going, that looks like something's happening. So on this day, the 1972, the Munich Massacre, a Palestinian terrorist group called Black September attacks and takes hostage 11 Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympic Games. 2 die in the attack, and 9 are murdered the following day. Of course, the aftermath of this is the excellent film, Munich. I don't know if you've ever seen Munich, about how you don't fuck with them Jews, man. Them Israelis, woo, man, they hold a grudge for a bunch of years. Munich was the story of how the Israeli people, after this incident, not the Israeli people, the Israeli government, the Israeli army, military, intelligence, whatever. They went and they hunted down all of these guys who took these hostages. Took years. They bided their time. Munich, it's a great movie. Great movie about this, 1972. On this day in 1975, antecedently in Sacramento, California, Lynette Squeaky Fromm tries to assassinate President George Ulysses Gerald Ford. Yeah. Squeaky Fromm. Was she the Manson one? Or was that, and who was it? Patricia Krenwinkel? Who was that? I don't know. There's like this weird Venn diagram of Manson chicks and women who tried to kill Ford, specifically Ford. And one, I think it's Squeaky. I think Squeaky is the crossover. Because, okay, so Squeaky Fromm, here, I'll just click on it. Why not? Squeaky Fromm tried to kill Ford, and we remember her because she was also a member of the Manson family. Now, like 2 weeks or something before or after, whatever, someone tried to kill Ford twice. Ford had 2 women try to kill him in a very short period of time. And I know that we know who Squeaky Fromm is because she's the one that was the Manson family member. That we remember that. That's something that we can cling to in our minds. What was the name of the other one? Let's see here. Anyone in the chat room know? Let's see here. What the fuck? Hold on. Goodness. All right, it says here, on September 5th, 1975, Lynette Squeaky Fromm, a member of the Manson family, attempted to assassinate United States President Gerald Ford in Sacramento. Fromm, who was standing a little more than an arm's length from Ford, pointed an M1911 pistol in the public grounds of the California State Capitol building, and without chambering around in the gun, unsuccessfully attempted to fire. She didn't even get one off. Nobody was injured. Nobody was shot. After the assassination attempt, Ford continued to walk to the California State House, where he met Governor Jerry Brown. For her crime, Fromm spent 34 years in prison and was released on August 14, 2009, 2 years and 7 months after Ford's death. Let's see. Was she the one that did it first? Who tried to assassinate Ford? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We're not going to get that bent out of shape about it. I always want to say her name was Patricia Krenwinkel, but I think that's just another Manson chick. Leslie Van Houten. That's another one. That's another Manson chick. I don't know. Who was the other chick who tried to kill Ford? Chat room, come on. Somebody can be doing the Googling while I'm trying to fill time. All right, let's see here. Antecedently on this day in 1984, Western Australia becomes the last Australian state to abolish capital punishment. 1984. Good eye. 1984. Now, here's what I mean by this. We still got states in this country that haven't abolished capital punishment. Australia in 1984, the very last, the holdout. In 1984, the very last one went, maybe it's not a good idea that we try and, government kills people. Maybe that's not, that's what they did. The last one, 1984. We still got states that are like, let's strain them up. I mean, I don't know. You know me, man. I don't believe in it. I have very big moral issues with the idea of, the state determining that somebody has done something and then killing them. So I'm not a big capital punishment guy. I believe in the human veal treatment, where you just make them live in a box for the rest of their life and you feed them whatever you need to feed them to be a decent, fellow human. You give them water. But I don't think they need TV or air conditioning or anything like that. I think that once you violate the rules of society, you get removed from society, and is one of the burdens of a civilized society to have a plan for these people. And that plan is we put them in boxes. I don't think we kill them. I don't want to do that. I don't want to kill anybody. All right, let's keep going. Look, I understand. Like a dude who walked into Uvalde, right? What does killing him do? Killing him is just like, yeah, that's momentarily. I don't know. I'd be more comfortable with the idea of him just living in a box for the rest of his life, knowing that he doesn't get to see anything, he doesn't get to have anything. He's just got to live. He's got to live with it. I think that's far worse. But, that's a debate for another day. Antecedently on this day is in the books. It's now time to do birthdays. They claim it's their birthday, and I'm going to go with it because why not? Born on this day in 1929, the great Bob Newhart. Love Bob Newhart. He just died a couple of weeks ago, maybe. Bob Newhart. God, he was great. Born on this day in 1929. Born on this day in 1940, Raquel Welch. Got to be honest, she's a bit before my time. I'm not a big Raquel Welch guy, Maybe if I was 5 years older, maybe I would. But, my puberty hit around 79, 80. That's when I started realizing that, I liked girls. That was like Farrah Fawcett, Bo Derek kind of times. Raquel Welch was a little bit before that. But there you go. Raquel Welch, born on this day in 1940. She died in 2023. Born on this day in 1942, actor, director, producer, screenwriter, world-class weirdo, Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog. He's funny. He's supposed to be a crazy, maniacal German dude who's like an autiste. Anyway, I don't know much about Werner Herzog. Here's what I know. This is how I know Werner Herzog must be cool. Werner Herzog was a favorite of my old buddy Paco, my old pal. He loved Werner Herzog. He used to, did you see the latest Werner Herzog? I'm like, no, dude, I don't know anything about this Werner. You really need to know about Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog, born on this day in 1942. Born on this day in 1946, Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury. Is he the greatest frontman of all time? I don't know about that. Pretty good frontman. See, greatest singer of all time? Yeah, it might be that too. I don't know. I don't think Freddie Mercury is the greatest singer of all time, but other people do. And they're not wrong for having that opinion. It's a subjective thing. I think he's in the conversation. But here's the thing. Until he died, I don't remember anybody ever talking about him being the greatest singer of all time. I remember everybody talking about Robert Plant being the greatest singer of all time. And now here we are. He died and Robert Plant lived. And now you almost never hear Robert Plant being mentioned, and it's always Freddie Mercury is the best. I don't know. It's interesting. I wasn't really a big Queen fan either. Sorry. I mean, I like, look, there are some undeniable things about Queen that are timeless and incredibly cool. But pound for pound, I was just like, yeah, fat bottom girl's not my thing. I'm sorry. It's this dumb. I don't like, first of all, I don't like Broadway and I don't like opera. And there was a period of time when Queen was doing a whole lot of both. So not really my thing. Another one, Bites the Dust, right? That's the much maligned Queen song. I like that one. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Anyway, Freddie Mercury, born on this day in 1946. Is he cool? Yeah, he's cool. I feel like he's like way over. Like they talk about Freddie Mercury like he's one of the gods of rock, and I just don't know that he's there. I don't know that Queen is there. I don't know that Queen is with the Stones and the Beatles and Zeppelin. I just don't. I mean, we're just going to skip over The Who? I mean, we're just going to skip over Pink Floyd to get to Queen because Freddie Mercury died and they made a movie? I don't know. There's just a whole lot going on there. Freddie Mercury, born on this day in 1946. Born on this day in 1951. All right, sons of bitches. Are you ready? We're going to throw down on this one. I'm going to make a statement, and I will knife fight you motherfuckers if any of you disagree with it. That's not true. That's a bit over dramatic. I'm going to ask a question. This man is having a birthday on this day. This man was born in 1951, and this is a question that is new to me. It dawned on me while trying to put together a draft for this guy. We haven't done a draft in a while. We're going to do a draft here, and this is going to be a little bit different draft. I am wondering, after working on this, I'm wondering, and it's a very real question that I believe is true. Is Michael Keaton the greatest, most versatile, and underappreciated actor of the last 50 years? I think he is. It's Michael Keaton's birthday. It is freaking Michael Keaton's birthday. And I think that Michael Keaton, because he's such a cool guy and kind of lays low and he's never gotten DUIs or beaten up a girlfriend or gone through an ugly public divorce. He's not that guy. He has been cranking out amazing shit. So here's this. I'm like, oh, it's Michael Keaton's birthday. He's great. I should probably do something for him. He's one of my personal favorites. So I should probably look at this. And I went, okay, let's do a Michael Keaton draft. That's how they all start. They start with, let's do Michael Keaton's best movies. And then I start looking through his filmography and I'm like, he was great in that. Oh, and then I went, you know what? No, we should do a Michael Keaton character draft. We should do a draft of the characters that he's created. Okay, so we're not doing a Michael Keaton movie draft. We're doing a Michael Keaton character draft. I start working through that, and I'm like, well, Beetlejuice is very different than Birdman, but they are both so. So now I'm like, fuck, we need multiple categories. We need a comedy category for Michael Keaton draft, and we need a drama category for this Michael Keaton draft. So that's what we're going to do. Here we go. We're going to draft the comedy films. First will be comedy film. Second will be drama film. Okay, the number one pick off the board in the Michael Keaton comedy film draft. This dude can make you laugh and make you cry. I mean, just consistently since 1980. Michael Keaton, number one, Night Shift. Night Shift. Billy Blazejowski. The first role that I saw Michael Keaton in that I went, this guy is the funniest actor in Hollywood. Billy Blaze, if you have never seen Night Shift, Ron Howard, a very early Ron Howard movie, like one of his before Splash. I mean, this was like before he was Ron Howard, the film director. It's the story of two dudes who work in the New York City morgue. One of the dudes is Fonzie, Henry Winkler. The other dude is a young, unknown Michael Keaton. He plays the role of Billy Blazejowski. Billy Blazejowski turns the morgue into a brothel. He becomes a pimp, and he starts running hoes out of the New York City morgue. Night Shift. So funny. That's number one off the Michael Keaton comedy draft. Number one off the Michael Keaton drama draft. Still his best performance, and it was the performance that made everybody go, wait, what, who? This is the Beetlejuice guy? Clean and Sober. If you've never seen Clean and Sober, It's about Michael Keaton. He's playing a guy who's going through rehab, and it's about the steps and what rehab is really like. It is amazing. Number one, Michael Keaton comedy film, Night Shift. Number one, Michael Keaton drama film, Clean and Sober. Number two, Michael Keaton comedy film, the aforementioned Beetlejuice. It doesn't get any better than that character. That character of Beetlejuice was just, I mean, before it was Robin Williams. You know, we talk about, Robin Williams characters. We talk about Jim Carrey's characters. Why is it that we don't include Beetlejuice is as good as The Mask, if not better. Beetlejuice is as good as Mrs. Doubtfire, if not better. Beetlejuice, the number 2 draft pick in the Michael Keaton comedy. Number 2 draft pick in the Michael Keaton drama. How about the Oscar-winning and I think he was nominated for this, Spotlight from a couple of years ago, about the writers at the Boston, let's call it Herald, who brought down the Catholic Church scandal. That movie was heavy. Michael Keaton, he's Beetlejuice, and he's the dude who brought down the Catholic Church. Number three in the Michael Keaton comedy draft. Here's one of my favorites. A very little known movie. I think you maybe got to be my age and a guy to really appreciate this film. If you are my age and a guy, you'll get this. My 15-year-old son and I walk around quoting this movie. That's how good it is. The number 3 comedy film in the Michael Keaton comedy draft is Johnny Dangerously. You farking ice holes. My 15-year-old son and I, we call each other farking bastard. No, cork-socking bastages and farking ice holes. You cork-socking bastage. You farking ice hole. That was such a funny movie. Johnny Dangerously, another incredible over-the-top comedy performance from Michael Keaton. All right, that's number 3 in the Michael Keaton comedy draft. The Michael Keaton drama draft will bring you, again, the aforementioned. He won the best Oscar for this. He's an Oscar-winning drama actor, Birdman. Birdman was so good, man. From like 5 years ago now. That was the one camera track throughout the whole thing. That movie is awesome. All right, number 3. Johnny Dangerously in comedy and Birdman in drama. We're doing a Michael Keaton draft to once again just sort of remind you that I think he's the most versatile and talented and consistently awesome actor of my generation for sure. We always default to like Denzel or Tom Hanks. Shut up. Michael Keaton deserves to be in this conversation. All right, number 4. The number 4 draft pick in the Michael Keaton comedy draft is another Ron Howard movie that I absolutely love, that I don't know if a whole bunch of you saw it, Gung Ho. Gung Ho. I love that movie. Gung Ho was the story. Michael Keaton played a guy who operated an automotive plant in like the middle of, Wyoming or something. He was in the middle of rural America, and the Japanese came in and took over the plant, and he had to sort of be that bridge between the American auto worker and the Japanese corporate truck. Gung Ho, a terrific, I think it's Ron Howard, terrific Ron Howard movie. All right, that's number 4 in the comedy draft for the Michael Keaton films. Comedy Michael Keaton films. Now let's do drama. Another Ron Howard film, The Paper. The Paper from 2000. This was about the Washington Post. And he played another editor in Spotlight 20 years later. But this was the first foray into the world of journalism as a hard-nosed big city editor. Michael Keaton, The Paper, is number 4 in our Michael Keaton drama draft. Number 5 in the comedy draft. How could I not bring up Mr. Mom? That was his breakthrough. Mr. Mom was the movie that people went, oh, okay. Yeah, he was funny in some things, but actually maybe he's a movie star. Maybe. Mr. Mom comes in at number 5 in the comedy draft. The final one for the drama draft is a movie that wrecks me. I've seen it 3 times. I haven't seen it in about 15. You know what? I haven't seen it since I had my own kid, which is probably, but oh my God. Have you guys ever seen My Life? Oh my God. Michael Keaton in My Life as a father, a soon-to-be father. His wife, I believe it's Nicole Kidman. She's pregnant. And he finds out that he's dying of cancer and that he's probably going to be dead before the baby comes. Oh, my God. So he dedicates himself to making these videos where he's giving life instructions to, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Seriously, My Life is amazing. Michael Keaton. There you go. That's it. The comedy draft, we had Night Shift at number 1, Beetlejuice at number 2, Johnny Dangerously at number 3, Gung Ho at number 4, and Mr. Mom at number 5. The Michael Keaton drama draft had Clean and Sober at number 1, Spotlight at number 2, The Birdman at number 3, The Paper at number 4, and My Life, the absolutely beautiful My Life at number 5. Now, dude, I didn't even mention Batman. I'm Batman. Probably his most iconic role. I didn't even mention that. We got Batman out there that has to be talked about. We got Pacific Heights. Him freaking Melanie Griffith. Was it Melanie Griffith? I think it was. Him freaking Melanie Griffith out as like, wasn't he a bad cop? We didn't mention Multiplicity, which is such a great film where he plays like a dozen different versions of himself. Again, Multiplicity was dumb. Yeah, but did you see the acting chops that Michael Keaton showed in that? Michael Keaton was awesome as an actor, as a comic physical force in Multiplicity. I didn't even mention Out of Sight, Jackie Brown, or The Founder, where he played Ray Kroc of McDonald's. He's amazing. It is Michael Keaton's birthday, and I'm here to argue that he is probably the most important actor of my generation. I will not be taking questions. Born on this day in 1960, Willie Gault. I'm Speed Willie, and I'm world class. Speed Willie was a guy who was a receiver in the NFL. He was a track star. He was an Olympic track star, and he's one of the rare Olympic track stars who actually had a career in the NFL. There are dozens of people who come, into the combine and they set the record and all that, and it turns out, well, he's actually a track star, and then he can't catch or anything. Ronaldo Nehemiah is a great example of this from back when I was a kid. Ronaldo Nehemiah's coming into the league. Yeah, well, he can't catch. He gets wide open, and then he's got Joe Montana throwing to him. Willie Gault was one of those guys who actually had success in the league for a couple of years. Won a Super Bowl with the '85 Bears, and then I think he went and played for the Giants. Anyway, Willie Gault, happy birthday. Speed, Willie. He's world class. Fastest guy in the league back when he was playing. Jim McMahon had like a noodle for an arm, so he couldn't use the fastest guy in the league. But he had him. He had the fastest guy in the league. Willie Gault, born on this day in 1960. Handsome, too. Really handsome guy. Tried to be an actor. Born on this day in 1973. Ooh, can we stop down on this birthday just for a second here? Born on this day in 1973. I can tell you that for about 18 months, I don't know, was this maybe between like 98 and 99? I don't know. Definitely late 90s for about 18 months, man. This was like, she was like a whole new kind of hot, okay? And again, it only lasted about 18 months. But guys, can we just for a minute, can we talk about 1990s Rose McGowan? Holy crap. Would you look at her? Wait, is that her? Is that even her? I don't even know if that's her. Hold on. Let's look at some 1990s Rose McGowan. Yes, please. She was all pale. She looked sickly, like she was into vampires. She looked like she was, she was all white. She had big, giant, like blood red lips. She had other things that were big and giant. Look at her right there. Jawbreaker, Rose McGowan. Y'all know how I like bitches. So you know that I was kind of attracted to her as this like awful horror show meme girl. Look at her. She was quite something, wasn't she? She was just beautiful. Look at her right there. Then she got Marilyn Manson stink all over her. Remember when that happened? She started dating Marilyn Manson. Look at her. Gorgeous. My God, man. I'm sorry. I can't. All right, so there we go. So we've established. Is there any other? Look at her. Jesus, that is so 90s hot. Can I just tell you? That is 90s hot. That is, yeah, man. Rose, about 18 months. It was a good 18 months where I was like, she's the hottest thing on the planet. There's nobody else who was hotter than Rose McGowan. Then she got weird, right? She got all weirded out with Marilyn Manson, and I don't know. She just turned out to be a weird chick. Like, it was like she was still super hot, but it's like, This is where my buddy Jeff Ballard will go, yeah, but you still would. And I'm like, no, dude, you really don't know me. Once it flips like a mental thing, I'm like, you're weird. I don't like weird. You're not weird in a fun way. She got weird. She like suddenly became unattractive to me, even though she didn't. I need to see what she looks like now. I need to see what a 2020 Rose McGowan looks like. Let's see. Okay. 2020. I just put 2020 as a sort of Okay, what do we got here? We got 2020 Rose McGowan on a beach. The fuck is going on? What is going on with her? Well, she got a busted arm? Oh, that's not hot. That is so not hot. Cast. A smelly, stinky arm cast. Oh, what'd she do? All right, let's be honest though. She's a woman. She's a 50-year-old womanish. Absolutely. I mean, she's still a pretty woman. Who's that? That ain't her. Get out of here. There you go. But that ain't now either. That's like 1999. Look at that. I need to see what she looks like now. I'm sorry, but that's pretty much that's checking all the boxes for me. Look at her red dress. Look at her. She looks amazing. That busted arm. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the busted arm. It's the busted arm and the bad bleach job. All right, is that her? Is that her now? That's her now. I should be so lucky. I should be. Look at her. She's beautiful. I don't love the, I don't love the hair. Like if we got into a relationship, I'd be like, could you do that that jawbreaker kind of hairstyle you had like back in 98? Is that her now? That can't be her now. Was she rocking the same hairstyle? Like, man, she did not look. She kind of looks like she got into a fight with her pimp. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I mean, what's going on with the arm? A cast is not sexy ever. Yeah, see, there it is. That's when she got weird. When she got weird with the whole Marilyn Manson thing. All right, whatever. There you go. Anyway, happy birthday to one of my favorites for about 18 months. For about 18 months, I think, and then I just completely forgot about her. Let's see here. She loves Boston Terriers. Who's that? Are we talking about? Hold on. Ugh, oh my goodness. Hold on. Got to get back to where I was. I lost my place. Thank you for bearing with me. She the last birthday? She's got to be the last birthday, right? Hold on. Yeah, she's the last birthday. There you go. Okay. Sorry, I lost my place, as happens from time to time. Let's do the deads. Quickly. Dead on this day in 1997, Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, ladies and gentlemen. Guess where she's going to go? Yes. How could I not put her in heaven? I don't know. I am reminded of that very funny Larry David bit where he called someone an asshole and they took offense, and he was trying to convince this person that they shouldn't take offense to being called an asshole by him, because everybody at one point in their life is called an asshole by somebody, and it doesn't mean anything. And the guy said, that's not true. It's not true. Everybody doesn't get called an asshole. Mother Teresa was never called an asshole. To which Larry argued, you don't think that there's somebody in Mother Teresa's life who was like, look at that Mother Teresa getting all the attention. What an asshole. Which is probably true. But no, we're putting Mother Teresa in heaven. There you go. She's probably got a throne in heaven, you would think, right? Dead on this day in 1997. All right, here's the last one. We'll just do one for one. Dead on this day in 1999, Alan Funt. Alan Funt. You know, this guy was a big TV star back in the 50s and 60s. He was the star of a show called Candid Camera. And I guess at first he did it on radio. It was called Candid Microphone. And he went out and he would talk to people without letting them know they were going to be recorded and then widely humiliated. There were no rules to this kind of thing back then. So he started it. Alan Funt began this whole... it's cute now. The idea, when you go to YouTube and just pull up some classic Alan Funt Candid Camera, and you'll watch these things and they're charming. You're like, oh, isn't this charming? We live in an age of the prank show and the hidden camera everywhere and reality this and that. So we blame Alan Funt for that. So fuck him. He can go to hell. He can burn in hell for starting all of it. I was going to watch some. I thought maybe we could watch some Alan Funt Candid Camera. So I went and I pulled up some on YouTube and I started watching a little this morning. And I'm like, nah, this is lame. We're ruined. We're ruined. We can't enjoy the subtle nature of the wit of an Alan Funt from 1959 on a street. We can't enjoy that anymore because we've had, Ashton Kutcher doing Punk'd for 30 years, dumbed down to its lowest level, but we're putting him in hell. Again, we're putting Alan Funt in hell because he started this whole damn thing. All right, one more time, a big thank you to today's executive producer, the incredible Tiffany L. Thank you so much. It is Pledge Week. I think we're down to $95, something like that. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully we'll get there. So if you want to drop a little something, here's how you do it. You got the Venmo, you got the Cash App. The show runs on your gratuities. We're trying to fund next month. We're already a week into this month, so if you can drop a little something and help us out, that would be great. I thank you so much. All right, let's get into all the hot topics and current events and things that people are talking about today. The very first thing is the downer. Again, we're going to go into this downer bullshit. So the school shooting that happened yesterday, we covered it a little bit as it was happening during yesterday's live stream. Here's what we know now. The dust has settled, and we know some things. A teen, 17 or 14-year-old kid has been charged in the murder of 4 people. And I'll just read you the headline. The teen charged with killing 4 people at Georgia high school denied prior online threats back in 2023. Let's take this step by step. Okay, this is Appalachia High School. This is in Georgia, Barrow County, Georgia. This kid attended the school. He was in a class, 14 years old. He snuck out of the class. The other kids in the class said that they saw him sneaking out of class. He snuck out of class. And then he attempted to return to class. He, for some reason, somebody saw that he was attempting to return and noticed something. I'm not sure they didn't say even said a gun or anything, but for some reason they locked the door and would not let him back in. At this point, he began shooting people in the hallway. He shot 2 teachers. 2 teachers are dead. He also shot 2 students, 2 other 14-year-old students. He surrendered. He was captured. And what we now know today is that back in 2023, he was reported to the FBI for, making threats online. And the FBI interviewed him, and he was on the FBI list and all of that kind of stuff. And a year later, he did this. First week of school. He probably stewing on it all weekend, right? Fucking little monster. So now let's talk about what we know. So where are we on our anger scale when we learn that the FBI interviewed this kid in 2023 and that this kid was on the FBI's radar? What do we do with that information? How do we process that? Do we immediately, as I've seen a lot of people do, just go to fucking FBI? They're fucking incompetent. That very well may be the case. These FBI agents, special agents in charge, they may have been complete fucking losers. Who knows? I don't know that. My point is this. What could they have done? Hey, this kid was accused of making threats online. This is the United States of America. If the kid's dad has guns in the house and all that stuff, and the kid's got access to the guns, which is what people are saying now, and the dad is saying, no, the guns were secured. I mean, we got laws that allow these things, I mean, what is the FBI supposed? Let me put it to you this way: is the FBI supposed to go and sit in this kid's bedroom and go, look, people said you made some threats online, little Jimmy, or whatever the fuck this kid's name is? It's something stupid. It's like, Colt Gunner. It's some stupid name. So were the FBI supposed to say, did you do it? And then he said, no, I didn't. And then what is the FBI supposed to do there? We think you did. And the kid says, but I didn't. And then, so if the FBI just goes, I don't believe him, and they arrest the kid on what charge? Not believing. See, I just don't know what the recourse is when we identify these children as being high risk, which is what apparently happened in this situation. The FBI identified this kid as being a potential risk. They interviewed him. They don't interview every kid. My kid's never been interviewed by the FBI. I'm sure yours hasn't either. But what are they supposed to do with that information? This is still America. We're supposed to throw him in jail. Why? Because now we have the luxury of knowing that this kid was actually a school shooter. What if he wasn't an actual school shooter? Now all of a sudden they're on Jesse Waters on Fox talking about government overreach and all of this. You can't fucking do anything, man. This whole country is fucking jammed up. We knew this kid was a psycho. The FBI knew he was a psycho, but what could they do? And what are we, as the great unwashed, the people who have to sit here sending our kids to these schools, what are we supposed to think? I'm just telling you, I don't immediately think that it's the fucking stupid FBI because I don't know what they're supposed to do. I don't know what the hell they are supposed to do in this situation. We got guns. The kid had access to guns. But that's not the problem. It's mental health. Okay, fucking shut up. Just, I don't know. Can we at least at this point, because nobody wants to say, well, this is all about guns. Nobody. Okay, so we're all acknowledging that this is about a whole bunch of different things, man. It's about mental health, and it's about little fucked up kids, running around with fucked up parents, thinking fucked up things and then taking that to school. How do you legislate that in a free society? I just don't know. I know thoughts and prayers is some bullshit. It's a nice, comforting thing that two people, when they're face to face in an awkward situation, might say to one another to alleviate the weirdness of the moment. But it don't mean fucking nothing after another one of these. So look, I mean, what do you want me to do? I've done this same fucking rant after every one of these mass shootings, school shootings, whatever. They've won. The evil has won. I don't give a shit anymore. It's now just something that I expect to happen. We have a school or a mall shooting this week? No? Oh boy, we're running on borrowed time, aren't we, around here? Well, Christmas season's coming up. That's where I am now. Just expect it. Not going to get all bent out of shape. 14-year-old kid, they're going to try him as an adult. It's another thing I got a little bit of an issue with. He's not an adult. He's not an adult. You're trying him as an adult for punitive reasons because there is a popular outroar over, let's get this kid's scalp, which I'm not saying this kid ought to be returned for second semester at school. No, I mean, this kid is human veal now. This is my thing. There may even be something deeper going on here that maybe he needs to live in a rubber room wearing a straitjacket for the next 80 years of his life because he's fucking 14. He's got a long way to go. Try him as an adult. He's not an adult. You want to try him as an adult because that's how you'll get the most justice. But then we can't. Then okay, I get that. Let's get the most justice for everybody all the time. If we're going to do that, then we have to get rid of entirely this line of demarcation between adults and kids. If a fucking 5-year-old walks into a mall and kills 15 people, we're going to charge that 5-year-old the same way we would a 35-year-old. Let's stop pretending like there is a difference between the mind of a child and the mind of an adult. That's what that line of demarcation is about. It's about acknowledging that the mind of a 25-year-old might be different than the mind of a 14-year-old, except we seem to selectively just toss that line out whenever there is a public outcry for blood. He's a fucking 14-year-old kid. He's a fucking 14-year-old monster, to be sure. But he's not an adult. He's not an adult. Change the laws. Change the laws to make it more, more jail time or something worse for kids. But don't fucking just throw these things out when it's comfortable and when it's a popular public opinion. I'm going to charge a 14-year-old as an adult. Well, they should, though. I mean, well, change the laws is what I'm saying. Change the laws so you don't have to do this. We look like a bunch of fucking fools. Look at the lens of history. 100 years from now, well, the Americans, they weren't really committed to their laws and justice. They would change it willy-nilly whenever it suited them, especially during an election year when you needed to keep people in a state like Georgia completely ginned up. It's a whole ugly thing. Everything about it is fucking ugly. Our response to it is ugly. Our response is stupid. You'd think we'd be better at it by now, but we're not, and we're never going to get better at it. I don't know. The fucking kid just went in a closet and grabbed a gun. Crazy, fucked up kid who was visited by the FBI just went in a closet and grabbed a gun because that's totally something you can do. I don't know. And now there's parents with dead kids. Come on, man. We got to be more genuine and authentically human about this issue. Ain't nobody trying to take your guns. Trust me, that ain't a thing. They told you that in '08 with Obama, and they sold more guns during the Obama presidency. They sold more guns than in any other time in history. Or at least to that point. I don't know. We've probably surpassed that because they realized that scaring people is good for gun sales. Telling people that this next election is going to mean the feds are going to come for your guns means that they can sell a whole bunch of more guns. But did Obama take your guns? No. Did Obama try and take your guns? No. Did Hillary even once campaign on it? No. It's just so fucking stupid and boring. You know what's happening though? They are now. Now these younger fuckers, you have willed them into existence. The Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes, all of these people, yeah, they really do want to come for your guns. And you, with your unwillingness to budge and be genuine about this is kind of a problem. I mean, we have driver's licenses, right? Why can't we? You've willed them into existence. You've Beetlejuiced this fucking wing of lefties who are now absolutely, as they grow and mature in their lives in public office, they're gonna normalize the idea of taking your guns. That had never been normalized before. There was no high-ranking Democrat who thought that they could win any state west of the Mississippi with that attitude. So it's never been a thing. But because y'all been pretending like it's a thing, it's become normalized in the minds of a lot of young people and the lefties who are now rising, the AOCs. Now they're coming after your guns. They absolutely are. Fuck. It ain't going to work, though, because, maybe it will work. Who knows? It won't work in, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't want to see guns illegal, but I do want to see it to be a little bit more difficult to be able to get one. I think that's a compromise. I think that we need to make sure. Used to have that old, responsible gun owner thing. Hey, be a responsible gun. None of you fuckers are responsible gun owners. All of my friends who are gun owners, that's not true. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to walk that back. That was wrong. I was trying to be performative. Now that I have a lot of friends what I will say this is that some of my friends who would describe themselves as responsible gun owners, I've seen them be absolutely not responsible. I've seen them walk into their kitchen, pull out their gun, and slide it across the counter, and then just forget about it. And then you hear the kids come running downstairs. Oh, hold on. It's not really responsible, right? I mean, the way you're supposed to do it, if you're going to be a grown-up about it, you come in, you put it in the safe. I don't know, but then what if somebody breaks in the middle of the night? I don't know how this works. Here's my plan for when somebody breaks in the middle of the night. I got a dog who is going to let me know by the time they get to the front yard. And if the dog can just distract them long enough, I've got a back way out. I'm gone. I'm not going to shoot anybody in my living room. I don't want to do that. And I sure as shit don't want to get shot. Get a dog. I don't really know that it's a gun issue, though. I don't know. I mean, look, I know that ultimately it is the gun that fires the bullets that ends the lives that causes the misery. I know that. I can follow that. But it is more of a ideology issue. It's much greater than just access to guns. It's the way we think about what guns represent to us. It's just a whole bigger thing. We're moving on. I can't do this. Not without being high. You want to get high? We can get into this. We can lay around and we can hash it out, literally. But no, not now. All right, moving on. The other big story of the day. Trump is back in court. I don't do a whole lot of this nonsense about the court trials of either side, but Trump is back in court. It's the first election interference hearing since the Supreme Court issued their immunity ruling back a couple of months ago. It is, the Supreme Court basically said, yeah, we're going to say that in the case of this, the way you've worded it, this is seriously how the Supreme Court did it. The Supreme Court wasn't, this is completely absurd and you need to leave. There is immunity here for Donald Trump and he is fine. That is not what the Supreme Court said, even though that's kind of how it was passed around. What the Supreme Court said was, yeah, on this, the way it's worded, wink, wink, it is not going to lend itself to us seeing an immunity issue here. So I can't tell you what to do, but the way it was wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Jack Smith to go back and rewrite it. come at it from a different angle and we might see it in a different way. Okay, so that's essentially what SCOTUS said. So now he's working through that. So now he's back in the lower courts, and today is the first day for that, and who knows, whatever, I don't know. There are other places you can go. If that's your Jones, man, if every day you need to know the latest in Trump's legal thing, or you need to know the latest in, Harris or Biden, go somewhere else. We don't do that here. But he's in court again, so we'll see. Also in court today, because I do like to be equal about this, although let's fucking not kid ourselves, this isn't equal. Hunter Biden is back in court. Hunter Biden, apparently they're in court today. His legal team has offered to change his plea to avoid a trial in his tax case. Now, I don't know what that means. But if this motherfucker did something shady because of who he is, because of the rooms that he was allowed to enter, because of what his last name is and the position that his father holds, and he broke some laws and he did some shit and he cheated on his taxes, then as I've been saying all along, put that motherfucker in jail. Put everybody in jail. Put all these rich silver spoon kids in jail. They think they can. First of all, they're born on third base, and then what? They're going to fucking try and steal home? No way. No way. So if Hunter Biden did something wrong, let's get him. Now, dude, it ain't the same thing as the Trump case, okay? Like, I know I just mentioned the Trump one, so now I'll mention the Hunter Biden one. Hunter Biden is a ne'er-do-well loser son of a lame duck, not even running for re-election, sitting president. There's a nothing burger story. There's who gives a fuck about Hunter Biden. He doesn't. Now, if you want to use it to sort of retroactively try and work case to attach him to President Biden and then like in 6 months put Biden in jail, whatever, but you're a fucking weirdo, okay? If that's like what you're thinking, you're just fucking weird. Leave it alone. Biden's about to sail off. A Viking funeral is what we wish for Joe Biden. He's going to just sail off into the... He's got nothing to do with nothing. Be angry. Start focusing on Kamala Harris. She's the one you need to be focused on. Hunter Biden's story to me has always been a big bore. It was probably a bit more relevant when his father was looking to be a president again for another 4 years, but that's over. So who the fuck cares? Donald Trump, on the other hand, he wants to be president. He is running for president. So yes, so I would say that his legal cases are probably more important to the American people right now than Hunter Biden, who, as I say, put him in jail. Nobody fucking cares. You think I care about some privileged rich kid? Oh, no, they're the Bidens of Delaware. They ain't... Fuck you. His dad was a senator his whole life. Do you know what a teenager whose dad is a United States senator? Do you know what his day-to-day life is like? No, me neither, because I didn't grow up that way. Okay? But I'm sure it involved limousines and fucking really cool fancy dinners all the time, not just on grandma and grandpa's anniversary. So fuck those kids. They're special privileged kids. I got no love for the Bidens. All right, moving on. Here's a story now you can really get me going with. I'm really going to get going on this one. Boy, oh boy, I love this story because we've all known. But finally it's being made public. All right, so Tenet Media, which is a Tennessee-based platform, not unlike Radio Misfits. Well, they are unlike Radio Misfits in that Tenet Media is well-funded. Holy shit. They're the home of a bunch of your craziest YouTube shit talkers. YouTube, Twitter. It's far-right nonsense. My fucking friends on the right, even they don't, subscribe to it. They're like, that's stupid. That's like the Antifa version of, whatever the right is. I'm like, no, actually, we saw the Antifa version of whatever the right is in Charlottesburg. We saw that. Okay, these are them? Maybe. The most notable name, Benny Johnson, I guess is a big name. Benny Johnson was paid X amount of dollars by this company, Tenet Media, to do his shows. Same with Tim Pool. Tim Pool is a real disappointment to me. Because I remember Tim Pool long before any of you people remember Tim Pool. And I know that because I didn't know Tim Pool from his YouTube stuff. When I was in Chicago, this is around the times of Ferguson and then later the Minneapolis riots. I was working for a branding agency and we were doing some stuff. We were trying to figure out how these live footage and live streams from these riots. You remember those summer of riots, Ferguson and then Minnesota happened and whatever. So we were trying to figure out how, we were studying This branding agency wanted to know how these things went viral and what were the connecting tissues. And there was a local kid in the Chicago area who was doing all of this stuff. And we brought him in. I wasn't there for this, but they brought him in and they met with him and he was going to start doing stuff with him. And that was Tim Pool. And I remember them showing me Tim Pool's live, unfiltered coverage of the Minneapolis riots. And I remember thinking, we need to invest everything in this kid. This kid is the future of news gathering. It's instantaneous civilian news gathering. The early days of Tim Pool was him in a riot zone, just a kid with a fucking camera on his head, showing you the Molotov cocktails. And it was incredible. And his commentary was smart and it was professional and it was measured and it didn't take a side. He was great. And then all of a sudden, now he's like a crazy right-wing pro-Russia troll. And he's been this now for like 5 or 6 years. And every time I see Tim Pool, I'm like, well, I'm glad kid took off and we were right. There was something there. But man, why did he make this hard and sudden, consistent sort of move to this stuff that the old Tim Pool would have been like, that's silly? Well, now we know. Now we know, because Tenet Media is now being accused by the United States justice system, and they've got some pretty good evidence, apparently, of being entirely funded, are you ready for this? By Russia. That's right. Part of the Russian spy and disinformation and all of that kind of stuff, right? Russia is actively trying to turn us against each other. They are actively trying to create civil discord. And why do we know this as Americans? And why should we know this? Why should we not have any doubt that this is happening? Because we're doing it too. Okay? This isn't like we're the victims here. No, we're doing it too. This is warfare. This cyber warfare. This is social warfare. It's been happening. We've been starting civil unrest in Eastern Bloc nations since the start of the Cold War, which, incidentally, is on this day in 1945. The Cold War officially started. So, of course, they're doing it. So just stop acting like they did. So we caught one. We caught one that's doing it. And we learned now that Tim Pool was making $100,000 a week. And he had no questions about where that money was coming. Now. We should point out that although Tenet Media seems to be completely funded by the Kremlin, they've arrested 2 Soviet spies here in this country, 2 women who used to be producers for RT, who are now do this kind of stuff here. So they've arrested these 2 women as Soviet spies, and they've given all this information we now know about Tenet Media, the home of the likes of Benny Johnson and Tim Pool. Both, I'm not going to speak for Benny Johnson. I'll speak for Tim Pool, because this is the one that, like, I really, really thought this kid had something. I didn't realize that he was a fucking sellout. But Tim Pool is claiming that he had no idea. By the way, it should be noted that all of these influencers, these right-wing influencers, these pro-Russian, these very anti-Ukraine. I mean, that's the common thread among all of these guys, is that they would do stream after stream after stream talking about how Ukraine is the enemy of America and blah, blah, blah. You know, exactly the kinds of shit that Russia wants the average American person thinking. So Tim Pool is saying that he had no idea that he was not knowingly taking money from Russia. And again, I'll point out that none of these people are saying this story isn't true. They're all Benny Johnson and Tim Pool. They're all like, oh yeah, apparently this is true. Apparently the company that's been paying our bills and paying us all this money and making us, wealthy rock stars of YouTube, this company apparently is entirely funded by the Russians. That is true. That we're not denying. They're not denying it. They're saying it's probably true, but Tim Pool didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anything about it. To which I say that's even worse, Tim. Tim, you're saved. The way out of this for you is for you to do a mea culpa and go, basically you could turn this into a positive if you become the guy now who is like, this is happening and I was a part of it and I know I was inside it. The whole way that Donald Trump got elected in 2016. It's all corrupt, I know, because I was a part of it. Tim Pool, you could have spun it that way, but you didn't. You're acting like you didn't know. I had no idea that what we were doing was pro-Russian. And I say that's even worse because now you're just a stooge. Now you're just somebody who was already of your own accord doing shit that the Kremlin was like, yeah, this is the kind of fucked up nonsense we want Americans thinking about. This is the kind of shit that we want them believe. So what's worse, man? It's better for you, Tim Pool, if you just go, yeah, I took some money. And although I do hold these as my beliefs, I was aware. I mean, it's better for you to do that. You can rebuild from that. Now you just look like a fucking idiot. Now you're just without any real knowing financial benefit. You were just spewing Russian Kremlin propaganda for free. This is just honestly what I think. It would be better if you were like, no, that wasn't actually what I thought. I was getting paid and we were doing this. Why is this a big story? Because I fucking hate these people. I don't hate them for their politics. I hate them because I fucking hate Russia. How many times do we have to go down this road? I'm a Cold War kid. Any of you people under the age of 30 who didn't grow up back then who think that the Russians are our friends, you're out of your mind. Now, I'm not speaking for the rank and file people. I don't know. I am talking about the people who are controlling the puppet strings, and it's a very small group of people. They all matriculated through the KGB in the Cold War 80s and 90s, and these people are now seeing their life's goal of destroying or unraveling whatever our version of freedom is coming to fruition. And guess what? They got a good portion of this country unknowingly helping them. That's fucked up. So I swear to God, you've seen these shirts, man. You've seen these shirts, these people wearing pictures of Putin that say shit like Putin over Biden. Come on, man. Don't, even if that's a joke. Like if it's a joke, okay, haha, that's how strongly you feel that you dislike Biden. But why are you wearing that? Why are you putting that out there, man? That's so disheartening to those of us who are, I'm not going to say we're trying to, for those of us who don't want to see America be torn apart anymore. Aren't you tired of it? Can we all just be cool to each other? Ugh. And why can't we all just come together and hate Russia together? Can we do that? Can we all just come together and hate the fucking Soviet Union? Because that's what they are. As long as Putin is still in charge, don't fucking get it twisted. Putin believes in the Soviet way. We're seeing it now. What do you think gobbling up Ukraine is? Do you know that he's been making speeches for 20 years about how he is going to reunite the former Soviet empire? That's what he's been saying to his people for 20 years, and now he's doing it. And half the people in America, not half, but an alarming number of you are like, Putin. If you're not straight out going, Putin's great. If you're not straight out doing that, what you're doing is you're carrying water for shit that would really help him in his goal of bringing us down. And his goal of bringing us down in this particular situation is to divide us by creating these people that put out this kind of content that then, and they're well-funded so they can grow an audience. So they have everything that they need to just kill it. All the stuff that we don't have here, they have. Why? Because the fucking Kremlin is giving them $10 million. Barney says, to be fair, I'm betting the Russians gave a bunch of money to okay, you're betting that, but get back to me when that news story breaks, dude. That is not what's happening here. Maybe, I don't know. But the lefty TikTokers that are not carrying water for the message they want really wouldn't be useful, right? Are the lefty TikTokers going to talk about how the Ukraine is the enemy of the American people? I mean, that's the message specifically in all of these examples of Tim Pool and this Benny Johnson now that are flooding TikTok and Twitter. Show them examples of the kind of shit that they were doing that Russia was going, that's what we want. That was a terrible Russian accent. I want somebody to pay me to talk about exactly what I want to talk about. I don't want to be paid. I won't be paid. It's been my problem in my career. I won't just carry water. You got to hire me to just be me, and hopefully that's how we'll ride. If you don't think there's much in, then don't pay me that much. But I mean, I thought about this a lot last night as an independent streamer who does this, who creates content. Thought about this last night. If the Kremlin came in and said, hey, your daily rent, we want you, I mean, I would say no. I would say no, and none of you believe me. After 3 years of watching me scrimp and save and, give everything to do this kind of fucking show, you think that I would sell out to the Kremlin? Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I'd have to think it through. Man, I wouldn't. Fuck. What? Here's what I might do. All right. Here's what I might do. I might take a whole bunch of money from them up front and then just not do at all what they want. And then they'll fire me. Keep that money. And then I'll record everything. Oh my God. I will take their money. I just thought of it. I will take their money and I will record everything and I will document everything. And then I won't do what they want me to do. And then they will fire me. And then I will go public with how they tried to pay me. And then I'll end up dead. Because this is not, this is not the local library angry at me because you didn't return a book. This is the Russian government. This is Putin's assassins. I'll get umbrella stuck. You know that thing where they got the plutonium pin on the tip of the umbrella? I'll be like walking down the street and suddenly I'll die of radiation poisoning. All right, Russia is paying trolls. Do we do this one? This is kind of an attached story, but not really, because here's another troll. Have you heard about this Nick Fuentes guy? Another dude, another Chicago area asshole. Nick Fuentes, rich kid from Lyons Township. Nick Fuentes, who's a white supremacist, who's Mexican. He's a Mexican kid. My friend, no white people consider you white. White racists do not consider. I guess they do, though. Because he has risen fairly, he's a pretty big dude in that whole whatever. Anyway, apparently Nick Fuentes has now turned on Trump, which, Donald, that is the best possible thing that can happen for you. Here's why. And maybe this is a part of the plan. I don't know. Maybe Nick Fuentes was paid by the Trump people to go, hey, can you turn on Trump? Because Nick Fuentes is undeniably a bad person. His brand is just, if you're down with Nick Fuentes, you're down with fucking bad people. He's an unabashed racist. He's an anti-Semite. He's fucking nuts. He's a fucking nuts little rich kid from LaGrange Park, Illinois. Lyons Township little bitch. Anyway, yeah, he's from the Chicago area. So it's probably good for the Trump campaign. Here we are in the sprint to have the best known racist supporter turning on him publicly. But he's turning on him in a very interesting way. His whole argument as to why Nick Fuentes has now turned on Trump is because he believes Trump has turned on MAGA. By Trump admitting that the election wasn't stolen, which Trump did quietly. I don't know why it didn't make bigger news, but Trump finally admitted that, the election was stolen. And Nick Fuentes is very upset about this. Fuentes is pissed because what this means is that everybody that has been fighting for Donald Trump, all the J6ers, all the people, it means that he just sold all of them out by saying it wasn't true, which is a very interesting argument. Let's listen to him. It would be rare as the occasion that I would put an avowed racist on this show, but this is an interesting argument. And I, as that, I'm an armchair political strategist, I wonder if this isn't strategy. I wonder if he hasn't been instructed by the Trump people to turn on Trump so that regular people like myself in the middle will go, well, at least he's finally breaking from those scary people. I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing that could help with a certain percentage of people who are out there who might vote for Trump but don't want to vote for somebody that seems to be in league with, Nick Fuentes or Turning Point or whatever that shit is. All right, so here we go. Let's watch this. This is this kid screaming about why he is turning on Trump. I'm not entirely sure this isn't at the behest of the Trump campaign, but let's give it a listen. It is an interesting argument nonetheless. Nobody's saying Nick Fuentes is dumb. Nobody's saying that all smart people are good. There's a lot of evil smart people. Hitler was known to be pretty smart or thought to be pretty smart. Here's Nick Fuentes. Let's hear him.
2020 comment. It's like, wow, that's how pathetic it's gotten. He's admitting, he says, oh, I lost by a whisker. So what was the point? Like, what's the point of any of it? You lost in 2020? Seriously? I mean, what are we even doing anymore? Then you're a loser. Then you're a loser. You just lost. Then you lost to Joe Biden. You deserve to be charged. If you If he admits that he lost, then that actually vindicates the DOJ charge against him. Because the charge is that he knew he lost, but he lied to defraud the people. That's the DOJ's charge. So why did we do Stop the Steal? Why did anyone go to January?
All right, whatever. I don't know either, Nick. I've been asking myself that forever. But it is an interesting argument, and it is kind of complicates my belief that there is a possibility that this is at the behest of the Trump campaign. Can we get all the Nazis that have been supporting us for the last 8 years to suddenly turn on us? That might look good. It might look good for us with people we're trying to attract right now, like suburban soccer moms who don't want to be associated with the Nazi party or the whatever. So anyway, that's interesting. According to Fuentes, he's of this is what I pulled up. I love this. Hold on. A little bit about him because I'm so fascinated by this guy. He's just such a weirdo. This is not a normal person. He's a Mexican dude who's cosplaying as a white supremacist. I don't understand this. According to Fuentes, he is of Mexican descent via his paternal ancestors and is Catholic. Okay. All right. Fuentes, this dude, good-looking kid too. I mean, he's a good-looking kid. Seriously. I mean, he's not like, he's like, he looks good in a suit. I could see girls going, oh, he's handsome. Fuentes identifies as an incel or involuntary celibate. Okay, first let's break that down. This whole I'm a man in my 50s. What the fuck? Incel? Involuntary? Dude, what? We've always had these dudes. There have always been unfuckable dudes. Whatever crew you run in, there's always at least one of your buddies who's unfuckable. We didn't call him an incel. And I'll tell you something else. He didn't wrap himself in that like it's some fucking badge of honor. What the hell is wrong with these kids? I would just want to publicly say that no one will fuck me, and I think that's great. What am I missing here? Well, this is, the whole part about me, a man in his 50s. I got to deal with the world as it unwraps. And I don't recognize this world anymore. You shut up. If you can't get laid, you shut up about it, or at the very least, you lie about it. Whatever happened to the girlfriend in Canada? Whatever happened to that? Now suddenly we got incels like this Nick Fuentes, guys. Fuentes identifies as an incel. Involuntarily celibate. That's what incel is. Although some of his supporters have criticized him for being a, quote, voluntary celibate after he, Fuentes, admitted that he kissed a girl while he was in high school. I kissed a girl in high school. No way Nick Fuentes is a virgin. That dude is no way. And if he is, fuck. He's even crazier than I thought. That's such a weird flex from these kids. Is this the end result of like 10 years of irony? We had 10 years between like 2005 and 2015 where irony became like, the whole thing. The ironic mustache. Look at me. I'm wearing jorts. I'm ironically. Did shit that was originally ironic suddenly become normalized, and the next generation that came up didn't realize that it was initially ironic, and then they just started doing it, like being proud of being a fucking virgin at 26? I'm unfuckable. And this is why I hate women. I hate women because they won't fuck me. Jesus, aren't we in a chicken and the egg situation? What do you mean that you hate women because they won't fuck you? They won't fuck you. Maybe because you hate women. Dude, there has always been people. There's always been guys with no game. And it is the job of the friends who have game. And, look, there are all different kinds of game. You're running with a group of dudes. We got to stop this, man. We got to stop this incel thing. I got to have a conversation with my kid about this. I got to see if this is a thing within his 15-year-old subset. Because I can tell you, he's a normal 15-year-old boy. He does not want to be a virgin. I'm assuming he is. Come on, don't make me go there. I'm assuming he is. But he's a normal boy. He likes chicks. We'll just leave that alone. All right, here we go. Let's get back into Nick Fuentes. He has described himself as the straightest guy and attempted to defend himself as an incel by claiming that, okay, wait a second. First of all, he calls himself the straightest guy. The straightest guy, Nick Fuentes. I'm the straightest guy. I don't know what that means, but I do know this. The straightest guy is never going to say, I'm the straightest guy. It's kind of like, the coolest people have no idea they're cool. And they would certainly never describe themselves as, I don't know, I'm a pretty cool person. They would never do that. So this guy, I'm the straightest guy. I don't think he is the straightest guy, is my point. I think thou doth protest too much. I'm the straightest guy. Here's what he says. Listen to this. This is wonderful. God, unless this is all a bit, what if he's like Andy Kaufman? What if he's just going to, at 30, what if he just goes, hi, I just want to pull the sheet back and let y'all know. That was all a bit. Y'all made me rich. I'm 30 years old. Man, these fuckers, they can always do that. Do they know they can always do that? That they can have a second career by saying that the first career was all just a hoax? Anyway, he describes himself as the straightest guy. We're talking about Nick Fuentes. He describes himself as the straightest guy and attempted to defend himself as an incel. I would like to defend the fact that I'm unfuckable. Can a man just defend the fact that he's unfuckable? He attempted to defend, excuse me. He attempted to defend himself as an incel by claiming that, quote, the only really straight heterosexual position is to be an asexual incel, as having sex with a woman is gay. What's gayer than being like, I need cuddles or I need kisses? I need to spend time with a woman. That's the gayest thing. This poor kid. Oh, this poor kid. He says that with a straight face. I'm not so worried about him. Actually, I applaud him. You say that to your audience, you fucking got that. You got that in your bag. You just threw that out to your audience. And then his audience ate it up. His audience was like, yeah, that makes total sense to us. How do I get that audience? Here's the problem with you people. You fuckers are too smart. You fuckers, I can't manipulate the way I need to manipulate. You know what? Here's what we need to do. Here's how we got to change this. We got to dumb this fucking show down so that you people are more susceptible to me trying to pull off some of this shit. Because that dude's got a whole bunch of numbers. Cuddles. This is somebody who's broken. Cuddles. First of all, dude, sex isn't about cuddles and kissing, although if you do it properly and you are making love, maybe those are important. But, really, sex is just having sex, man. You're just doing sex with somebody. Why are you so afraid of cuddles? Why are cuddles gay? Having sex, that statement. The only real straight heterosexual position is to be an asexual incel. All right. There that guy is. All right, here we go. Alan Lichtman. You guys know who Alan Lichtman is? This is interesting because this is a big news story because actually it was last week. I remember I was listening to a podcast. I think it was Joe Rogan. It was a Rogan podcast from last week. And they were talking about this guy, Alan Lichtman. Alan Lichtman, I think it was, did he make a prediction yet? Alan Lichtman has made his prediction. Alan Lichtman is the guy we hear about every election cycle around this time. Alan Lichtman is the statistics sociology professor who has predicted accurately every presidential election since 1984. Since he started doing it in 1984, he has nailed everyone correctly. He even nailed 2016. He was the lone voice out there who said, no, Trump's going to win. Trump's going to win. He nailed 2020. And Alan Lichtman has made his 2024 prediction. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Presidential election Nostradamus, who has correctly predicted every winner for 40 years, has revealed his 2024 pick. Who does he say will be the next president of the United States? All right, we'll move on. We'll move on. I don't need to say. Kamala Harris! He picks Kamala Harris. wee. I don't know. I don't know if I give that any weight. I mean, he's been right every time, and he got Trump. Ain't nobody thought Trump. Nobody thought Trump. Nobody, even you people who were rooting for Trump, you didn't think Trump was actually going to win. He didn't think he was actually going to win. You know who did think he was going to win? Alan Lichtman. Alan Lichtman. He went with Kamala this time. He's unveiled his 2004. So take that for what it's worth, which is probably nothing. Because if she doesn't win, then we'll just totally forget about this guy, right? Or will he come back next time? It'll be like, he was wrong last time. He's on a losing streak. I don't know. I don't care. I just want it to be over. I want that. I want to see the debate. I want the debate next week. What are the rules on the debate? So they are going to have them. They are going to have the mutes because Trump wanted the mutes, right? Wasn't that the God? That's so funny. So the mute buttons at debates. They didn't exist before 4 months ago. Right? They were introduced for the very first time with Biden and Trump with their first debate. And the mute buttons were introduced by Team Biden. That's something Team Biden fought for. Team Biden wanted a mute button because they were afraid that Biden wasn't going to be able to get his message across because Trump was going to be on a hot mic the whole time going, liar, doing that shit. So the debate, you've never had to have a mute button in the past. You never had a politician on the debate stage who behaved like Trump. So there was never a need for it. So Team Biden, they go, we want a mute button. We want a mute button because we don't want him to try and steamroll Joe when he's making a prescient point, or whatever their argument was. So they had a mute button. And the Team Trump was like, they're not going to be a mute button, but whatever. They compromised, and there was a mute button for Trump and Biden. So now we're doing this new one, and Team Kamala comes in, different than Team Biden. Team Kamala comes in and goes, we don't want a mute button. We want him to be heard off mic screaming and ranting like an idiot. We don't want a mute button. So we're not going to do a debate unless the mute button is gone. And all of a sudden, Team Trump is like, no, we want a mute button. I know 3 months ago we argued we didn't want a mute button, but now we want a mute button. So that was a problem. So we got a mute button. They also got no crowd. I think no crowd is very important. I don't want to hear woo, yeah, or whatever. I like it. I like it when there's no audience. It's just these two motherfuckers squaring off with one person just asking questions. I like that. I think that's better. All right. So anyway, there you go. Chinese adoptions. There can be no more Chinese adoptions. How much does that suck, huh? Chinese is pulling they're pulling the plug on the whole adoption thing, which I don't know if that's a good thing. Hold on, let's find out why. Chinese adoption. My phone is frozen. I'm gonna have a drink while my phone figures out what it's doing. Doc isn't responding, is what it says. Should I wait? Sure, I'll wait. Why not? Hold on. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, you know how everybody was getting their babies from Chinese people? Remember that was like a thing? It's like, yeah, we went to China and we got a baby. And it's a beautiful thing. There are a lot of incredible families that were created all around this world off babies that otherwise probably would have had a pretty rough life there in China. I know I got one in my family who we all love and who we all cared deeply for. We got a baby who was born in China. My aunt, she adopted her and brought her over here as a baby. Met her when she was a baby. Haven't seen her since. Other than Facebook pictures, she's beautiful and she's an American girl through and through. And she's, that's a good thing. She's been given a life, and she's been given a life by people who could, were in a position to provide. See, that's the other thing about adopting a baby from China. You know who doesn't get to adopt a baby from China? Like a waitress and, an out-of-work steel worker who live in an apartment and they're behind on rent. Those babies all went to families who were secure families, people with jobs and, financial stability. So those kids were all given a really good head start, at least here in America. I don't know what they were doing in other parts of the world, but I know that those Chinese babies, those Chinese adoption babies that came here to America, that was a really great thing. China is no longer allowing international adoptions of their babies. Here we go. Why won't this open? I don't know. All right, you know what? We're going to do it this way so I can read you this story. They're not giving any real reasons as to why. They're being very cagey about it. They're being, oh, ancient Chinese secret. Oh, it's like they're being very fucking weird about their explanation as to why they're not allowed. Do they still have the like two baby rule and stuff? Was that a thing? Is that a real thing? Or is that just something somebody told me once when I was 12 and I've gone through my life going, in China, they kill your baby if it's a girl? I don't even know if it's true. I don't know. I don't know if they do that anymore. China's halt of foreign adoptions leaves questions about all pending cases. The Chinese government is ending its inter-country adoption program, and the United States is seeking clarification on how the decision will affect hundreds of American families with pending applications. In a phone call with the U.S. diplomats in China, Beijing said Beijing said that it will not continue to process cases at any stage other than those cases covered by an exception clause. The embassy is seeking clarification in writing from the Chinese Ministry of Civil Affairs. All right, so here's the clause. Here's what they're saying. The Chinese are going, you know what? If you want to adopt a baby here and you want to do a legal adoption from here, if you are Chinese, if you are a Chinese citizen and you are living somewhere else and this is a relative of yours, this is maybe, a blood relative or there is some sort of familiar relation, then fine. But we are no longer going to allow babies to just be willy-nilly adopted by any old person. It sounds to me like they're trying to keep their Chinese baby with Chinese families now. Or they just, they're running out of Chinese babies. I don't know. We understand there are hundreds of families still pending completion of their adoption, and we sympathize with their situation. At a daily briefing Thursday, Mao Ning, a spokeswoman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, said that China is no longer allowing foreign adoptions of the country's children, with the only exception being for blood relatives to adopt a child or a stepchild. She didn't explain the decision other than to say it was in line with the, quote, spirit of relevant international conventions. Many foreigners have adopted children from China over the decades, visiting the country to pick them up and then bringing them home to their new places overseas. U.S. families have adopted 82,674. Proud to say that I'm a member of one of them families. Although, I don't really know those people. I love them. I mean, they're like important to me, but I don't really, China suspended international adoptions during the COVID-19 pandemic. The government later resumed adoptions for children who had received travel authorization before the suspension. A U.S. consulate has issued 16 visas for adoptions from China between October of 2022 and September of 2023. The first in more than 2 years since the coronavirus. Okay, so they shut it down for the coronavirus. They kind of half started it back up. And now there's a whole bunch of people, specifically here in America, who are like, we've been waiting since before Corona. What's going on? And now they're being told that, nope, China is not going to restart the adoption process the way it used to. I don't know why. That's weird. As I said, if there's still a need for children to be given an opportunity to have a much better life than maybe the one that they'd be stuck with, I don't know why they wouldn't. But okay, so there we go. We're moving on. Green Day. Green Day is in the news. Green Day played, here, we'll show you this video. Green Day played at Comerica Park last night in Detroit. Very cool setting. The other day, Pearl Jam played at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and it's just, the videos are so awesome because it's just such a cool place to pack out like an old timey baseball stadium with just rock fans and have Pearl Jam there, and you got the lights in the neighborhood. It's very cool. Comerica Park is also doing this. Comerica Park in Detroit. Comerica Park's only like 10 years old. I don't know how cool. It's not old at all, but it's still a cool park and it's a nice backdrop. And so this is a cool video. Green Day played there at Comerica Park. Green Day had to be rushed off the stage at Comerica Park right in the middle of Longview, like in the middle of one of their bangers. Green Day had to stop in the middle of one of their all-time bangers and run off stage because somebody outside the park had gotten a drone inside the park. And apparently the drone they were worried. And, the security saw the drone. And I'm not talking about the dudes who stand there and tell you can't go in there. You can't. I'm talking about the real security, like the cops and, these big events now have a whole different level of security. They're like dudes with computer screens and teams that look for, terror events and all that shit. So anyway, that level of security detected this drone flying inside the park. And man, they rushed Green Day off stage like this drone was carrying surface-to-air missiles. Or I guess it would be drone-to-surface missiles. Whatever, I don't know. Let's watch this video. This is Green Day from last night. This is last night. Comerica Park, Green Day being rushed off stage. Here, hold on. Let me get this sound. The sound's going to be a little bit too big. Let's bring the sound down. Doesn't need to be that loud. Okay. Doom, 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 doom. Let my lip and close my eyes. See? I'm like, right now, I'm rocking out the long view. How do I do this? There we go. Try it like that. All right, this is last night at Comerica Park in Detroit. Green Day being rushed off stage because of a drone. All right, so essentially, I'll watch it again here. A drone made its way into the ballpark. Security alerted the band. They pulled them off. Now, it's not really that great to see, especially if you're looking at this on a small screen. But you can see from the left somebody run on stage and run right up to the guitar player and start dragging the guitar player off stage. Then Billy, the singer, Billy is just going and he's into the song. And then suddenly you see him. He kind of realized that something's going on, and he hauls ass. He runs. Let's watch it one more time. All right, so right here, we see right here, right? Here's Billy singing, and now you're going to see a dude come from this side, run onto the stage. So here he comes. See this guy? Now here he is right here. He's running on stage, and he's going to clear the band off the stage. Billy's up here singing. He has no idea what's going on. He thinks this guy's just a fan. Look how quickly they just run off. He's like, no, off stage now. All right, so now here you can see Billy better here in this box. He's looking. He's watching this. He's like, what the hell is going on? Where's my band going? Why are you guys leaving the stage? Now watch how quickly he runs. He is booking off stage. He's got some. He's something-year-old man. He's still got some sprint in those legs. All right, there you have it. That's the world we live in now. These things are to be expected. Green Day was off stage for about 20 minutes. They came back, finished the show, and it was no big deal. The police did arrest a guy on the property who was operating a drone, and all's well that ends well. Green Day last night in Detroit at Comerica Park. Who else do we have? Green Day. Here's a little bit of news for you. Not Green Day. Adele. How about Adele? Adele's going to retire. Nah, she's not going to retire. You know why? I'll tell you why. Adele's a class name. She knows she ain't retiring. What she's probably going to do is take about 5 years off. Adele has announced that after her residency in Vegas, she is going to go on what she is describing a very, very long break from music. So people are like, is she done? She's not done. Is Barbara Streisand ever done? Was Celine Dion ever done? Adele's not done. She's gonna disappear for a while. Well deserved, Adele. Go enjoy. Go eat something. Eat something. Adele used to be heavy, and and then she went on a diet, and she's beautiful, and whatever. That voice is so intoxicating, and she's such a cool chick. It's go enjoy your life, Adele. Stop living for others. Adele has announced that she's going on a long, long break. Ben and J-Lo, they're on a long, long break. Oh, yeah, Ben and J-Lo. Here's nothing more to really mention about this other than it's now official. These two idiots didn't have a prenup. All right, so we did the breakdown. We did the money breakdown last week. Where we had the net worth of Ben Affleck and the net worth of Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez was like $500 million, right? Like 500 million. And Ben Affleck is like 100 million. So J-Lo is like 5 times as wealthy as Ben Affleck is. J-Lo is that times 5. That's, so it's not even close. So, and the problem now is that they don't have a prenup, which would suggest to me that Ben's being a bitch. That Ben is like, hey, you don't have a prenup, state of California. Is Ben going after J-Lo's money? Fuck. That is pretty cool. I gotta be honest. It's pretty cool. Because, women do that to guys all the time. The women, we expect it. It's normal. You get divorced, it's a 50-50 state. You get divorced in California, and the woman gets half of whatever the guy's got. Unless, of course, there's a prenup. There's no prenup here with J-Lo and Ben Affleck. J-Lo's worth $500 million. Ben Affleck is only worth $100,000. Why would there be an issue? Why would there be a holdup unless Ben Affleck is being a bit of a bitch? He's like, I think I want something out of this. I think I would like to double my net worth. I think I am worth $100 million currently, according to Google. I am worth $100 million. You are worth 5. I would like to be worth 2. Make it happen, and I will leave this relationship. Why don't they have a prenup? Why don't these two fucking idiots have a prenup? You would think they would. I mean, how do they even get married without going through like 3 waves of attorneys? All right, anyway, there you have it. Here's an interesting study. Do you care more about your dog's health than you do your own? Look at this. Did you know that there was a study that was just released yesterday that says that most people who are dog owners care more about the health of their dog than they do about themselves. Now, there's all kinds of metrics involved as to how they've come to this decision, but I can tell you flat out, I will not go to a doctor for any reason short of, I can't stop bleeding. That's it. If I can stop the bleeding, I'm probably not going to a doctor. Right? That's the only reason that I'm going is if, again, I can't stop the bleeding. Only reason I'm going to a doctor. I will take a dog to the doctor if they just seem a little bit sleepy. I don't know, there's something wrong. So I get that. I get the whole thing where we are more likely, apparently people, and this is Americans, we are more likely to take our dog to the doctor before we will ourselves. I think this is an interesting study. Here's what it says. Dog days. The vast majority of dog owners care more about their pet's health and their pet's happiness than they do their own. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's how it fucking should be. You bring a dog into your life, here's what you need to understand. It should be that way. You know why? Because when you bring a dog into your life, that dog is just another spoke in your life's wheel. You got a whole lot of shit going on, right? That's what that dog is to you. You know what you are to that dog? Everything. Everything. You're it. You are it. That dog looks like, yeah, there's my everything. And you look at your dog like, get off of me. Get off of me. Don't jump. Get off of me. Don't jump. So, yeah, I find it perfectly believable that people who love their dogs kind of see it that way. Like, I would take my dog to the doctor long before I take myself to I'll be fine. But that dog, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I think that works on me. If I think in some way, shape, or form that my dog is hurt, like in some kind of a pain, I'm like, let's stop the pain. And that's the other thing. We don't care about making our dogs junkies. What do you got? You got something hard? You got a pill or something that we can just zap this pain out of them? We're totally okay with that. I give my dog aspirin all the time. Not my dog. Well, CeeLo. You know CeeLo. She's got a hip thing, and from time to time she'll start walking with a limp because her hip is a little bit jacked up. So I'll give her a couple of ibuprofen. She's right as rain. She's perfect. Hold on. I got signed out. I'm nervous about the football game. I told you about the football game tonight. I told you about the football game at the start of the show about how it's week 2 of my kids' high school football. Some place called Creekview. I got to go to Creekview. They finally decided my son is the long snapper, and now I got to go up there. He's going to long snap. He's going to be fucking awesome, and I'm going to be a wreck on every snap. But okay, that's all right. We'll do it. We'll be fine. Where were we? Sorry. We're running late. Look at this, 2:04. I've already given you 2 hours of a stream of consciousness rant, and I'm not even halfway done. That's a lie. I'm more than halfway done. Let's keep going. All right, let's see here. What else do we have? Green Day, Adele, J-Lo. Do you care more about your dog? Oh, how about this? This is cool. We'll do this. This is a fun one. We like to do lists, right? Okay, so a list has been released. This is, who put this out? Because this isn't from one of those stupid, like a lot of times I have this thing, Study Says, that I go to that gives these new studies and all that kind of stuff. I haven't done any of those today. But this is a study. This is not from a study site. This is actually from a news site. This is from WFLA in Florida. Who are they citing? I don't know who they're citing. These are the most fun states. Okay, let's see. What are they looking for here? Fun can be defined in many ways, but one study reveals that Americans can collectively agree on certain states that are considered more fun than others. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Ready? All right, let's do the funnest states. Should we go number 1 or should we start from number 10? Let's start from number 10 and work our way up to number 1, all right? That'll be fun. Number 10, the 10th most fun state in America. Louisiana. I got to say no. Louisiana? What's fun about a Louisiana? Louisiana is awful. They got big giant bugs. It's swampy. It's gross. New Orleans is like a fucking cesspool. I don't know. Granted, I've only been to New Orleans 3 times and they were all after Katrina, but still, the food, I don't like the food. The music is awful. Louisiana, I mean, and I'm describing the absolute best part of the state. That's New Orleans, and I do not like New Orleans. So whatever. Yeah, there's a good chance I'm going to shit on your state, okay? Just because I like to do these lists because I like to shit on things. Number 9, not going to shit on this one. This one should be higher. And I don't see its little retarded sister. The little retarded sister of number 9 is not on the list, and that upsets me. Minnesota is number 9. Minnesota is awesome. I can't believe Minnesota would make the list of America's funnest states and Wisconsin wouldn't. Wisconsin's not on the list. I looked right at the top of the list. I'm like, oh, Wisconsin's got to be 2 or 3, right? Nope. Wisconsin doesn't even make the list. Number 8 in the list of America's funnest states. How about Washington? The state of Washington. I can see that. I've never been to Seattle or Washington, but every time I see it, look, here's how I know it's probably true, because every time I see Washington or Seattle or something, I go, oh, I'd like to go there. That looks awesome. That's very cool. Seattle's one of those cool ass cities who has the skyscrapers set against a backdrop of mountains. That's cool. That's so cool. Washington is number 8 in the nation's most fun states. Number 7 is Texas, right here. Old lucky 7. Texas coming in at number 7. Texas is awesome. There's a whole lot to do in Texas. There's a whole lot to do everywhere in Texas. Like we were talking about Louisiana, and I'm like, I'm just talking about New Orleans because I can't imagine there's anything else to do except swamps and, make meth. But Texas has everything. You could do, you want to see an opera? You could see opera in Texas. You want to go like drive cattle? You can do that in Texas. You wanna join a religious cult in the Panhandle? You can do that in Texas. You want to hang out with the Sacklers in Austin, or maybe Willie Nelson and Joe? You can do that in Texas. Texas has got everything. I can't believe that Texas is number 7. I certainly would have thought Texas would have been top 5. Number 7 most fun state has got to be political. Got to be political. All right, let's see here. Number 7 is Texas. Number 6, and this is interesting. This is a little surprised. I got to be honest, a little surprised. I mean, I'm not completely surprised because I'm infinitely familiar with this state, but I'm surprised that Illinois comes in at number 6. My home state. It's one more fun than Texas, according to this. Let's be honest, though. No. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm being provincial. I was going to say, let's be honest. There ain't nothing south of I-80 that's worth doing in the state of Illinois. So it's all Chicago and Chicago area related for the fun. And there's a lot of fun to do there because that's very much like, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and northern Indiana or northern Illinois area. It's Great Lakes, it's rivers, it's valleys, it's lakes, it's lush, it's green, it's forest, it's hills. It's really, it's cool. It's cool. It's Great Lakes. The Great Lakes region is a very cool place for fun, whether it's winter or summer. But southern Illinois is awesome too. I was being provincial, but that's not true. Like down there, the Mississippi culture of Illinois, there's a lot of fucking fun Mississippi River shit to do in Illinois. In St. Louis, I know St. Louis is in Missouri. Barely. It's just on the other side of the river. The entire metro area of St. Louis is basically on the Illinois side. At least that's what I like to claim. Number 6 is Illinois. Number 6 most fun state. A bit of a surprise. Wouldn't have even put it in the top 10 if I'm being honest with you, but there it is at number 6. And I know Illinois. I was born and raised there. Number 5 is Colorado. How is Colorado? Aspen, the ski resorts, legalized weed. Colorado, number 5. I was going to say, I'm a little bit upset about Colorado being placed at number 5, but I don't think so. I think if we had started this, I'd have thought that a good place for Colorado in a most fun state ranking would be a top 5, Colorado's top 5, and there it is at number 5. Number 4, this one had to be in here. This is another state like Texas that kind of has everything. Like there's everything that you could want to do, you could do in this state. New York comes in at number 4, most fun state. They got everything. They got everything in New York. Everything in New York isn't Manhattan. You go upstate New York, you're basically in Maine, and then you go east, north New York, you're like Buffalo, you're there, it's Canada, you got Niagara Falls. There's a whole lot of good shit to do in New York. New York comes in at number 4, most fun state. Number 3, okay. So now we're in the top 3 most fun states. And this could be, you could shuffle this any way you want. Number 3 is Nevada, most fun state. How is Sin City number 3? Well, it's because California is number 2. California's a pretty fun state. You knew California was going to be there with all their sun and the beaches. And again, California's got everything, like Texas and New York. Everything in that stupid state. California is number 2, the number 1 state for fun in America. Now, I said Texas got penalized at number 7 because probably political. Well, that did not affect the fun meter when it comes to Florida. Florida is the number 1 most fun state in the United States. Florida coming in at number 1. All right. I need another drink here. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, this is okay. All right. So we might as well get into this now. Let's do a little bit of sportsy stuff. It's football back. Football is back. Football starts tonight. NBC, Peacock, or whatever. I don't know how to watch the game tonight. How do you watch the game tonight? Is it on NBC? Is it national NBC? Or is it Peacock? Do you have to have the Peacock app to be able to watch the game? Ravens at Chiefs. The NFL kicks off the season. Thursday night football, which I always thought was an Amazon thing. Why is it on NBC? I don't know. I'm happy to have football back. I'm very excited. I know that we all are here in Texas, Dallas area. I see people already got their cowboy I don't want to talk Cowboys. I don't want to talk Bears. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk specifics of football. I just want to talk about how happy I am to have it back. I was so pleased that this weekend is going to be so great. I got my kid, right? So we're gonna. It's like football weekend. It's like going to be an awesome football weekend. Probably have to go out and get wings or something. I don't know. We'll have to do something. It's a football weekend. We're going to do college football on Saturday, and then we're going to do pro football on Sunday. Here, I wanted to show you this. This is a new, this is going to premiere tonight. Oh, yeah. This is going to premiere tonight during Ravens Chiefs game. It is a Pepsi commercial. It is a big Super Bowl quality type Pepsi commercial that was created specifically for the first game of the year. It has an all-star cast of music stars, movie stars, athletic stars, and it's somehow tied in. Here are the three things that are involved here. Pepsi, which always does big over-the-top commercials, Pepsi, the NFL, and the new season, and the film Gladiator 2, Ridley Scott's new Gladiator 2 movie. Okay, so this is going to debut tonight during the opening game of this NFL football season. This is the full-length world premiere, unless you've been on YouTube. It was posted 6 hours ago. It's only 18,000 people have seen it, but it will make its debut tonight. They're saying that this is an incredible ad, so should we watch it? Once again, this is a giant-sized Pepsi Super Bowl caliber ad that Pepsi made to promote the NFL and Paramount's Gladiator 2. So here we go. Let's see what this is all about. I have not watched it yet, by the way. I saved it. I was like, oh, well, we'll watch it together.
Football is back. Indeed, it is. What is your fantasy team looking like?
Dude, stacked. I got Travis Kelce and Justin Jefferson. Lights out.
That's cute. I got Josh Allen as my QB and locked in Derrick Henry.
Nothing.
Okay, what are we having today?
I'll take a Pepsi.
Same for me. Thanks.
Are you hearing that?
Hold on. Was that Josh Allen? That was Josh Allen, right? Was that Travis Kelce, the first guy? Who are we looking at here? All right.
I really got to stop thinking about the Roman Empire.
All right, hold on. How do I identify these guys? All right. All right. This is Josh Allen, and this is Travis Kelce, and that's it. I've identified the white guys. I have no idea who the two black guys are. Because I'm a racist? I don't think so. But say it if you want. All right, so it's who else is that? I can't tell who it is. Is there a uniform that is giving me? All right, who is this Lamar Jackson? These look like Ravens colors. All right, this is definitely Travis Kelce. These are Chiefs colors on his shoulder pads. These are Ravens colors. Is this Lamar Jackson? These are Buffalo Bill colors. That's definitely Josh Allen. And these are, what is this? Seahawks? DK, who is that? I don't know.
Are you ready?
Silence! Open the gates.
All right, I think that's one of those celebrities. That's either a Cardi B, a Nicki Minaj, a Megan Thee Stallion, or a Lizzo. I don't know. She doesn't look heavy enough to be Lizzo. I know Lizzo's the heavy one. I don't know who that is. She's one of those, though. She's a big star. Breaking news. That's Megan Thee Stallion. I was just informed.
Open the gates.
left to pick my teeth. Win, that's all that we do. Everybody's watching and they all came for you. Hard work, dedication, the understatement. We fill up arenas that'll rock the whole nation. This what I do, baby. Watch the way I grew, baby. Once you pick a side, just be careful how you move, baby. I hear the cheers, see the tears, chase the dreams, not the fears. Fight to make them talk about.
It's Justin Jefferson. Okay, so it was Vikings. It's Justin Jefferson.
About your victory for years.
Let game day begin.
Well, we've got a big one here in Buffalo. Both teams came out with playoff-like intensity in the first 2 quarters, and we're about to find out.
What just happened? What? Are you not entertained?
Grab a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
All right, there you have it. Pepsi's big tonight. Well, it's cool. That was cool. I'm fine with that. I'm not one of these people who are like, that sucks. That's so stupid. That's cool. Well, I mean, look, they're going to make an ad. They may as well. That's cool. Fine by me. That was fun. Here's my takeaway from it. Apparently, I'm now hot for Megan Thee Stallion. I like that. She also had the black lady nails. I'm telling you, man. Fuck, if I was advising Kamala Harris, she's got like 8 days, 6 days, 5 days. How long till the debate? 5 days. She should be growing her nails, man. She got to get them lead press-ons. I want Kamala Harris in the debate against Trump to have those long black lady nails. And also, if she could do something crazy with her hair, you know how black ladies have the most fun with their hair? They're always doing I need all of these things just to throw Trump off his game. I want Trump to be completely confused by what he's dealing with here. I want him to be reminded that this is not some Ivy League educated white dude in a boardroom. Okay? This is a black lady. And she's going to come at you and she's going to fight you in a different way. How funny would that be? If you don't even see it till the right moment because you never really see her hands because maybe they're behind the lectern. But then at some point you go, let me tell you something, Donald. And she's got those crazy long black lady nails. That's going to be awesome. She ain't going to do it. She should. Yeah, Christina Lee press on nails. And she's got to do something with her hair. How awesome would it be if she came out and she had that do you ever see sometimes it's they do I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it with black lady hair, but sometimes black lady hair has shapes and it's almost like a mold where it's tips over to where it's tall, but then it'll tip to the side. Whatever it is, it'll be spectacular. Maybe she could adorn it in some kind of African colors, maybe beads, colored African beads, and then just make Trump look at that the whole time. Here's what I want. I want her to irritate him and confound him to the point where he says the N-word. I think he's got it in him. I think you can frustrate him to the point where he's he storms off. I want to see that because I don't like him. Not about politics. It's just about him seeming to be a jackass. All right, that's going to do it for the show. I love y'all anyway. You people need to get over this. If this is the one thing you don't like about me. I don't like that Pugs doesn't like Trump. Gotta get over it. We got plenty of other things that we can hang out and talk about. Did we find out if it was Mike D's birthday? Did we see Mike D in here at all? I think it was Mike D's birthday. So happy birthday to him. Also, we touched on, I really do feel bad about Byron's mom. I like to think that, some of you people are I should have reached out. And I shouldn't have done it on the air, but keep a good thought for Byron and his family. And I know it's a week old now. Day late and $1 short, fat man. Good job, Pugs. All right, well, I tell you how nervous I am. About the game. I don't even want to sign off. Today because if I sign off, that means we're just close to the time when I got to go to my kid's game. I want to go to my kid's game, but I'm just nervous. Thank you to Tiffany L. You're so awesome. Tiffany, thank you so much. Tiffany is the executive producer of today's show. I didn't hear anybody tip the show today. That's unfortunate. It is Pledge Week, but I'll check that after the show. If you want to help the show out, if you want to help us get through another month, we are at a very low number this month. I think we were at like $95 or something as today started. So if you can get us over that by the end of the show tomorrow, that'd be great. Appreciate you. I'm going to leave that up. Once again, thank you to Leslie, who was our executive producer on today's show. We'll be back tomorrow with more of the Rant, an unhinged stream of consciousness performed daily at noon by a narcissist who doesn't know any more about this stuff than you people. He's just got a microphone, and we're talking about it. I love you. Bye, everybody.